Okay, folks, it's a fine sunny day today. It's meant to get up to 26 degrees and it was 12 degrees minimum, which was really not a very pleasant start. You know, considering that you have to wear long sleeves and you have to wear jackets and then you got to rip them off at the wrist when it gets hot. I really haven't got the ability to tolerate extreme temperatures. And I'm not the kind, and I don't own a car, so I can't just drive somewhere and just shove my jumper or my jacket in the fucking car. So, just wondering how big we're going to make it. Yeah, I did some DVD burning last night and early this morning. I almost pulled a full all-nighter, not quite. I stopped doing my discs around 3 o'clock and let myself have a kip. But I basically spent most of the night and morning burning discs for my TV campaign for Channel 9. So hopefully, fingers crossed, these discs will get there delivered, and it'll be a good thing. And this is what we're photocopying, a photograph of some moss and lichens and whatever that is. I took this a long time ago, back, I don't know how many years. Should say on the back when it was processed. 2007. That was quite a dark year for me, like most of the years in my life. 2007 was a terrible year, as most years were. But I really wish I could be with Ouija. That would have helped, made me happy if I had been with him instead of being on my own, living alone. And that looks better. Looks really interesting. I do wonder. That looks really nice. I don't know how that's going to work as a mirror image. I'm just going to have a look at it. Yeah, that's down that way. But I really miss my partner Luigi, and I'm trying to get in touch with him through the 6 o'clock news on Channel 9. If they would just be so kind to air my material instead of just leaving it begging, so to speak. Really gets lonely without my partner, really does. I get really sad and depressed. I feel really down on myself. I don't feel happy. I don't have anyone at home to talk to companion. I have carers come round, but it's not the same as an actual friend that you really, really love and cherish, and someone who you can feel really close and intimate with, and feel safe as well. To feel safe and comfortable with someone really nice that'll really cheer me up. But I get really lonely around on my own, or even with other people. I don't feel a sense of connection with other people apart from him. So I'm wondering what I'm going to do with this, folks. Maybe I could put the flower up in the top corner. It's not a flower, but it's some kind of mossy thing. But I really miss my partner Luigi, and I'm really trying to get in touch. And I'm trying to get also recognised as an artist as well in my own right. so I don't have to rely on Centrelink and working in an Australian Disability Enterprise, ADE, which is basically what they called supported employment or a sheltered workshop in the old days. And basically I don't feel contented. I just feel I have to make the money to get by with my shit, and it's really difficult feeling a sense of contentment in what I do, having to live with disability and not being able to shine. I know I was watching Channel 9 this morning when I was just when I was getting ready, and they had a show called I think it's called Helping Hands, and it's on like at 4 something in the morning, and it's all about like grassroots organisations doing good for the community, or and it's just like grassroots, and it's like really you can't do much at the grassroots level to fix every problem, because grassroots is something that needs more force. You can't just have people power, because they're not going to all pedal in the same general direction, because we still have pollution, we still have all sorts of shit going down, and we don't have any way of, because the rich people have control, and what the rich people do is often bad anyway, and they can't do what is right, and they don't want to, so they ruin the lives of countless other people. Also, they can make so fucking money. Now, maybe push this too far up. I've got to push it down a bit, or maybe I'll have to use this as a master copy and maybe take a section out of that. But yeah, I just get so fed up with the way the world has become so fucking bitchy and horrible, and that people are so mean-spirited and so wrong, so fucking wrong, and yet they the ones that fucking have the power to do what they want us to do. They're fucking idiots, fucking monkeys. Got no respect for them, folks. I don't respect these monkey-brained fools who rule our world, the rich people, the top 1% or so of the population. But, we have to fucking just live and try to... I know these grassroots people do try, but they actually had... The funny thing was, this time, they had an article to do with a group that was helping people with disabilities find their voice, and it's like, they all get together and they all have they do performances, they do art and creative stuff, and basically it's like they're pretending to be famous or pretending to be big, and they're not, and they're just contented with all this pretense about being something, and they're not. They don't get to really make some progress. They don't really. You got to think realistically, folks. You got to think outside the box, and you got to think. You got to basically, like what I'm trying to do is I'm hoping to make money out of what I'm doing, not just a hobby, not just a thing to do on the side while I'm working in a boring fuck-up job. Don't get me wrong, the company that I work with are really good, but I feel like I'm growing out of that sort of thing. I'm growing out of being in a disabled job. I want stardom. I want the limelight, but I don't just want it just for myself. I do want to help other people with it. And I've just moved this in the wrong bloody direction. I should have moved it across. But basically, I'm not interested in being a community-minded person, being disabled and basically, how should I put it? Basically, accepting my incapacity and just working on it with it, in that I'm restricting myself, allowing myself to be just a locally recognised, like in the suburbs, really, but it doesn't make you money and it doesn't make you feel good. Or I don't feel good about it. I used to be a local identity and it never really gave me a true sense of meaning. It seemed foolish and silly in my book. So I'm growing out of that local shit, folks. I've grown out of it. I'm no longer interested in just being a local ID. I'm not interested. I want to become somebody. I want to be a star. I want to be something big and powerful. And I want to help others with their lives as well. I want to make other people happy as well as myself. So I'm going to pull that up. I do think that's a bit too light. So just going to darken it a bit. Maybe put it on copied paper. But yeah, I don't want to be just local. I don't want to be just a grassroots person. You don't go very far doing that, folks. It might be good for starters, like when you're a teenager or when you're in your early 20s, but it doesn't really do much. I don't feel satisfied being just a local person, a local identity. I just don't feel a sense of satisfaction or connection. I really don't. I don't feel a sense of comfort from it. I do feel quite like it's a bit silly now, that being a local identity is a bit on the silly side. I'm going to maybe move this up a bit. So yeah, they had the Helping Hands on this morning and it was an interesting show, and they had all these people with disabilities, and some of them were drawing or they were painting, and then there were some of them performing on stage, and it just seems so fucking puerile, silly in my books. I don't feel I can relate to that kind of thing, and this is the last one we've just done. So I just don't feel like I can relate to that sort of grassrootsy sort of feeling that, or aesthetic that this Helping Hands is talking about. I don't feel a sense of connection to that kind of shit. I don't feel like it's me. I'm a person who wants to do it big and make money out of it, lots of money, and give lots of money to help groups like that, maybe to help the grassroots, because I know a lot of rich people don't want to help, and there's not enough rich helping hands out there to help others less fortunate. And yeah, this was I think this organisation would have been a religious organisation, if I'm correct, and they basically are looking over helping out these people with disabilities. So, but I'm just not interested in that kind of shit anymore. I'm too interested in trying to get my work out and try to get recognised so I can get off Centrelink, get off the stop working in a job that I find, without criticising the workplace itself. The workplace is good, but it's not my thing anymore. I'm growing out of it. I'm moving on. In the process of moving on, folks. And someone else who needs it more can get a break. And that would be really good for them until they might possibly move on as well. But it's always good to have something to keep you going and keep the money flowing. Not flowing, but enough money just to get you by. Because I struggle with my budget anyway, because it's such a huge budget I need to use for this. It's just not holding out. And that's come up looking quite interesting. I do wonder if maybe I should do a switcheroo. Maybe a couple of switcheroos. Tricky trying to work out how to do the switcheroos, because sometimes I forget where they've been. But basically, I'm just growing out of this grassrootsy stuff. It's not my thing. I want to be recognised and treated like a professional artist, not an amateur, not a wannabe, a professional artist, a real artist. And that's come up looking really quite nice as well. But I'm really dying to get in touch with my partner Luigi, who I really, really miss, who I need to get close to because I really am lonely without him. I'm really fucking sorry with the bad language, but of course I have a bit of a potty mouth, folks. I just get so fed up with the way the world is and the way society has gone. And yes, we get these grassroots people, but they can't do much to make things actually happen. We need the rich people to cooperate with the less fortunate, and that's come up looking really quite a treat. I think we can call it quits. I think that's as good as it gets. Gotta go.